We'll attend the high school art show.
We'll check out the Bluebonnet Brew-off.
And we'll talk with Lyle Novinski about creating liturgical art.
All this and more coming up About Town.
Hello everyone and welcome to About Town. I'm Stacy Spencer.
And I'm Kathy Whiteman, and I am so pleased to welcome Stacy Spencer back to the show. What has been keeping you busy since the last time we saw you last year?
Yeah, last year. Isn't it amazing? Well, of course, we have been integrated into the marketplace, doing some great productions for teens, getting out and working with cyberbullying, connecting with the proper stakeholders that would be great sponsors for the program, and then the Dallas Business Journal article has helped us to streamline that connection into the Dallas marketplace.
I am so glad about that. The article was wonderful. What did you like best about it?
I think the fact that they used that big photo to attract, and they allowed me to wear green. Green is one of my favorite colors. And
oh, so, really? I couldn't tell.
You
by
couldn't
what
tell
you were
that, right? So they had green, and they just said, well, let's roll with it. So it was amazing. But the fact that they talked about our passion to help young people.
That's wonderful, Stacy. Now you'll notice that Stacy and I are both wearing a little Washington Irving created figure. This is Rip Van Winkle. Because this is celebrating Irving, the City and the Man month, you're going to be finding him popping up not only all over the About Town set, so watch closely, but also in various places around town. Big hint, try Big State Drugs. So if you see little Rip Van Winkle, take a photo with him and post it on the Irving Heritage Society's Facebook page for a little surprise. We're glad that you could be here this week and so happy that you could join us for news on the Irving Concert Series.
We'll also preview the Irving International Women's Consortium's annual purse auction, and we'll get ready for the Momentum Dance Company selections for spring.
As always, we invite you to email us, let us know about stories you'd like to see and events you'd like to promote.
So please email us at ictn@cityofirving.org.
Irving ISD provides an excellent foundation for the visual arts in elementary and middle school, but by high school, students are really ready to show off their talent. Susan Kamyab has more.
I really like walking around and seeing all the other artwork that comes out of the district and pointing out, oh, I've seen that piece. Oh, somebody I know painted that, so that's kind of cool.
And I can see other people's ideas as well as my own. Like sometimes when you're left alone with your own ideas, you kind of sink into it, but when you're able to see other people's ideas, it kind of makes you more open-minded and say, hey, maybe I could try something like this, or you could take bits and pieces from them and put them together and create something completely original.
We continue the district's Spring Art Exhibit series with the work of Irving's high school artists.
Tonight you'll have a little bit of everything. You'll have painting, you'll have drawing, you'll have fibers, you'll have sculptures, ceramics, you'll have digital media, photography, you name it, you're going to have just about every category of art.
As the students progress, their art begins to have more meaning.
Well, I have a drawing and a painting. Drawing is a self-portrait. It's titled Nirvana. It's a graphite self-portrait. I'm sort of looking like this. The assignment was to sort of convey a feeling of comfort, and so I, put a happy sort of face and a blue background in blue and purple tones to sort of convey the comfortable feeling. And I have a oil painting, a tiny little salad called Crisp, my first oil painting, so I'm really happy I made it into the art show today.
One of them I called Cage, and it's a heart, like a realistic heart, and in the background there are chains. And it's kind of symbolic for emotional, when you're not able to express your emotions and you're kind of more confined rather than being outspoken.
This piece was a self-portrait, and we were assigned to make a self-portrait that used words in it, that incorporated words somehow. So I decided to use printmaking, and I made a stamp and I repeated the words in the background. And basically it's dealing with how even though people say negative things about me, I'm still strong and it doesn't affect me.
The artwork remains to impress, but there is a key factor the teachers are looking for in their students.
If they have a great work ethic, you'll see that their skill level just grows. So it doesn't really matter whether or not they think they're artistic or not. I take them where they're at, and I think all the teachers in the district, is if they have the work ethic and they're willing to put the time in, you'll see each year they just grow.
So with their hard work and artistic nature, the high school art students delivered an awe-inspiring showcase. For About Town, this is Susan Kamyab reporting.
The Senior Portfolio Show, Irving ISD's final exhibit of student art, continues through April 12th in the Irving Arts Center main gallery.
They say that everything is bigger in Texas. Well, that includes the largest homebrew competition in the country. Susan Kamyab attended the Bluebonnet Brew-off to learn more about the art and science of making craft beer.
The beers and ciders have been judged, and this weekend home brewers from all over the U.S. are facing off for the title of Best Brew. The Irving Convention Center held the 29th annual Bluebonnet Brew-off.
Oh, I love this event. I've been coming here for a long time. It's come a long ways. So we come here every year, so it's fantastic.
It started out as just a friendly neighborhood rivalry between the Fort Worth homebrewers and the Dallas homebrewers 29 years ago, and it's grown and evolved into the premier homebrew competition in the United States.
Over 1,300 entries have been submitted this year, and as the various styles of homebrew is judged, competitors can indulge in all sorts of beer-themed activities.
We do commercial beer tastings where we round up craft beer from around the state and around the country, and we have sampling glasses that folks get to sample, as well as homebrew. And we're having a little cigar tasting this weekend to something that we felt was compatible with our beer event. And we have a pub crawl event where the guys load up on some Greyhound buses and they go through some designated craft beer outlets around the Fort Worth and Dallas Metroplex.
And if brewing your own beer sounds like something you want to do, Texas Brewing Incorporated can teach you how and provide you with all the supplies necessary.
You only need about a 5-gallon stainless steel pot and then an equipment kit. And we have all of that. A lot of people get started right on their stove. You can do it right in your kitchen.
Though the fermentation process can take up to 6 weeks, Brendan explains why he still prefers home brew over store-bought beer.
I get to brew to my own individual taste. So, best beer in the world for me may not be the best beer in the world for you.
The Bluebonnet Brew-off is an inventive and refreshing event that everyone can attend.
You don't have to be a brewer to come to our event. If you like craft beer and the things that we do, you're welcome to join us, and we have a ticket for everyone.
For About Town, this is Susan Kamyab reporting.
Oh, that's good.
That's really good.
If you'd like to learn more about craft beer, visit bluebonnetbrew-off.org.
Spring is definitely here, and that means it's time to kick off the Irving Concert Series. Jackie Madden and Jasmine Lee join me with all the details. Ladies, great to see you, as always.
Thanks for having us. Well.
And this year you have decided with this round of concert series to really pay tribute to greatness, I think is what you're calling it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. We're going to feature all tribute bands.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So the first one, because I am a huge fan of this group, having grown up in the 60s the way I did. So you go ahead and say it, because I don't know if I can.
Everybody loves the Beatles, so we're going to kick it off on April the 10th with Me and My Monkeys.
Which is just great. That's just great. And what time will the concert start?
The concert starts at 7 p.m. and it's going to be at the Whistle Stop Plaza.
Okay. And the series then will continue not weekly, but is it every other week?
It's the second and fourth Fridays.
Great.
In April, May, and June.
Oh, fantastic. And so what else we're starting with the Beatles, which I am thrilled about. Who else will we hear from?
There's a Journey tribute band, followed by a Brooks and Dunn country.
Oh, fun.
We'll have a Motown night. We've also got a Rolling Stones group and a Stevie Ray Vaughan, local Texas.
I think I may have to be there for the whole thing, because how can you miss the Motown group? And I know a lot of those guys from back in the day when I used to hang out at Popsicle Toes, Buster Brown Band. You just got to do it. Well, that's absolutely wonderful. So all of the concerts then, Jackie, will take place at Whistle Stop Plaza and, as you said, second and fourth Fridays.
Exactly. And then our full schedule is on irvingevents.org if you want to reference that as well.
Great. So are you encouraging folks to bring lawn chairs?
Bring lawn chairs, blankets, but we will have a food vendor on site.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So folks don't even worry about dinner. Just come on out and plan on dancing to the music.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much for being here, ladies. I know there's a ton going on in Irving as the spring rolls out, so I'll get you to come back next time and talk about the next stuff that's coming up.
We'll be here. We love
Thanks so much.
All righty.
Back to you, Stacy.
Scott Churchill returns to the show with a review of the Furious 7 and a preview of the Dallas International Film Festival.
thought this was gonna be a street fight? You're damn right it is.
Man against man, predator and prey, protagonist and antagonist, good guys and bad guys. In the Fast and Furious franchise, one can detect little difference between any of these figures, especially when they bring in an actor who's usually cast to play protagonists, in this case Jason Statham, to play a bad guy, and in this case a bad guy with a code of honor that matches that of our franchise hero, Dominic Toretto, played by the ever-clever survivor of everything violent, Vin Diesel. The concept for this sequel is threadbare. We really never know much about who the bad guys are, and we have to make pedestrian guesses at their motives. Fill in the blank, greed, power, etc. In fact, in the midst of this jumble of one violent scene after another, which runs for well over 2.5 hours, one of the Fast and Furious group actually makes reference to the guys they're fighting as the bad guys, just in case the audience hasn't been able to keep track of who is who in this series of face-offs of one posse against another. This time around, it's not just the Fast and Furious men who are at the center of the action.
Would you believe I knocked him out with my charm?
You need that charming. Thank God you showed up.
It's movies like this that remind us of the pleasure and privilege of living in a city where there are plentiful film festivals. And with the Dallas International Film Festival just around the corner, I'm thinking it couldn't come sooner. The Dallas International will run from Thursday, April 9th with its opening night centerpiece at the Majestic Theater through Sunday, April 19th, so go online and check out the lineup of films and venues. We'll close with this clip from Furious 7, which ends with a montage of images from the previous films showing the evolution of Paul Walker's character, Brian O'Connor. In this scene from Furious 7, O'Connor leaps from the hood of a car onto the back of the enemy transport vehicle, somehow gaining speed between the two vehicles as though he were Superman.
Furious 7 is currently playing at AMC Irving Mall and Regal MacArthur Marketplace.
Influence of the Purse is the name of the annual scholarship fundraiser sponsored by the Irving International Women's Consortium. Founder Christina Winters-Gears joins me with a preview, along with Debbie Fleck in her hat as publicity person.
Yes,
she's
our publicity person.
So this is a wonderful organization with a great cause. One of the things that you guys do is provide scholarships for women. Can you talk a little bit more about what that's for?
Yes, it's for women from other countries who come here. And, you know, navigating the American system is difficult if you're born here and you're a woman. So compound that with coming from like South Asia and having to reclassify your certification as a pharmacist. What do you do? Where do you go? We help them with that. We hook them up with North Lake College counselors, and they find out what it is that they need. And then we also offer scholarships for a year of $1,000 each. And it's for adult women only, not for children in or young adults in college. This is for a woman who's already got her degree or is wanting to get into the workforce and has been staying home. And we also do for personal growth or DeVry. So it could be those types of educational opportunities also.
I can't imagine what it would be like to go to another country. You and I are in the same kind of field and pursue journalism, pursue broadcast journalism without any inroads into the system. So obviously this is very valuable. And then the way that you guys raise the money for these scholarships is just so much fun.
Oh,
Influence of the purse. What purses are going to be available this time?
Well, we have purses on a silent auction as well as a live auction. Our silent auction purses come to us from a lot of different areas, and actually Brighton gave us 40 purses this year.
That's great.
Yes, they, you just have to ask, and so we have some fabulous purses. We've got Coach purses, and then we have high-end celebrity purses. Dr. Elba Garcia, our county commissioner, has donated two purses to us, and Steve Madden, Sheryl Crow.
Wow.
And these are all signed. And they're all autographed. Rita Marino from West Side Story, Mary Wilson from the Dreamgirls.
I think that I would probably want to bid on that one myself.
I mean, it's exciting that they take
very.
the time to do this for us, because they really understand the need for the outreach that we have.
Absolutely.
So we're excited.
And so you've got another additional big, huge thing. Debbie, will you talk a little bit about what's going to...
We have, for the live auction, we have 2 round-trip tickets on Qatar Airlines, and they are
economy class.
Economy class. But you could upgrade to business for free if the business class is available. And so those will be part of the live auction, which are pretty good value.
There's a great reason to be there that night. So folks, this is taking place on Thursday, April 9th at the Las Colinas Country Club. The fun kicks off at 6 p.m., but you want to get there so that you can have great food and drink.
Yes, it's $50 to get in. That's a donation. We do have a full buffet dinner, and you get 1 drink ticket. And we'll also have raffle prizes that you can buy.
So you got to be there.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
got to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here tonight, ladies. And we hope that we'll see lots of folks at the purse auction.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Stacy.
Some of the most enduring artwork in the world can be found in churches, from modest chapels to towering cathedrals. Irving artist Lyle Novinski is the creative mind behind such artwork in several area churches. Kathy talked with him about his work.
I was raised as a cradle Catholic and grew up in a church that had high ornamentation, stained glass windows, and the rest.
Lyle Novinski is a noted art historian, accomplished artist, and former professor of art who founded the University of Dallas Art Department. But his other career may become his most enduring legacy.
And while I was serving in Korea, there came a need for a chapel for the use of the troops. So the commanding officer commissioned me to turn a Quonset hut into a non-denominational chapel.
That Quonset hut was the first space Novinski transformed, and many others followed.
I was really renovating just about a chapel a year, making the furniture largely myself, or engaging other artists when I needed metal work or electrical work.
Today, more than 60 churches worldwide showcase his work.
Tyler, Fort Worth, Lubbock. I have a chapel in Rome and an altar in Denver.
In his recent projects, Novinski has been inspired by sacred spaces in which all the elements relate to a unifying theme.
So I developed this idea that in order to organize the interior of a church, one needs to select ideas and images that have the possibility of making larger connections and stories. And we'll see some of that in this chapel as well.
The chapel at Christus St. Joseph Village in Capel is one of Novinski's most recent assignments. The space serves the retirement community living there, so Novinski wanted a theme that would resonate with them.
What I chose as the unifying theme for this is a sense of memory. The painting on the wall above is a risen Christ figure surrounded by the whole life cycle, from the young unborn through children, mother, a mother inviting people in, widows, widowers, and then finally a death image where one takes the pulse of the other.
Opposite the painting, in the altar area, is artwork that evokes images of eternal life.
The tabernacle, which reserves the consecrated host for use outside of the liturgy, is separated by a grill that closes. And when it closes, the outside of it is the tree of life. And then when it opens, there are profiles of human figures around it, which are very contemporary, because they represent the people of God. The tabernacle that holds the consecrated host is usually considered like a jewel box or a safe or something secure. We've turned it into a wooden trunk surrounded by hammered brass flames, because in the Old Testament the sign of God's presence was the burning bush.
There were practical aspects to the design as well.
Traditionally, the altar is raised up on some steps. The architect had put in a concrete platform, but for that to be used by the elderly, that meant there had to be some railings alongside. And I found that those were very restricted. They looked like two cattle chutes. And so I thought, well, why don't we just warp the floor? So we have no step around the altar, there's just a slope. So what it really symbolizes is, first, an easy way to get there. And the second is to smooth out the approach between the life and the sacred. It's just a little slope.
Novinski combined all these elements, artistic and practical, traditional and modern, to create a space that would link memory to the eternal.
But the real memory that we serve here in the liturgy is the liturgy of the Last Supper. Do this in memory of me. The institution of the Eucharist is about remembering. So I've spaced the windows with the Stations of the Cross and tried in as much as possible to make the way of the cross parallel to the life lived.
In this chapel and the others he's designed, Novinski belongs to a venerated group of artists who have created art for sacred spaces.
Yes, the tradition is very old, and I'm happy to be a part of enlivening it.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
Visit stjosephvillage.org/chapel overview to learn more.
Momentum Dance Company celebrates the change of the seasons each spring with a dance concert that gets better every year. Jacqueline Forcher and Loris Anthony Beckles are here with some highlights. So glad to see you guys.
Great to be here.
So this is a big one because this actually launches your second decade at Momentum Dance Company.
I know, I really find that hard to believe, and the only way you can really tell is the younger dancers that have grown up, because the adults are still there and we never change.
Absolutely not. That is one of the great things about dance. So Loris, I know that you and Jacqueline have both been friends and partners for a long time in this world of dance, and that you've worked together before, but when you start the second decade, you want to bring something special. Can you talk about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things we're bringing was made 20 years ago.
Oh, okay.
That duet, Dulaka. It's by Andre R. George, who's actually founded the company and then died about a year later, and there I was with the company, and there I was without a partner, and we kept going and going and going, brought back the duet, Dulaka, which means near you.
And
I'm doing something new. What's it called?
Magic.
Headlong.
Oh, sorry.
Magical. Oh, my group is also doing Magical, which is for a group, and I choreographed for them. My pleasure. We started last summer on Headlong and Second Movement, which is another duet.
Oh my goodness! It sounds wonderful.
They're beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Well, and then you've got something really special planned. In addition to all of this, is a special plan that's new for you guys.
Yep, we've done before second act full-length ballets, and this year it's a rock and roll ballet. Several of the dancers in the company have choreographed to actual rock music, which is really alien on ballet bodies, but we also are very diverse, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're certainly having fun rehearsing it, lots of smiles going on.
It makes me think of something that Laura said to me when we did the show about Momentum's 10-year anniversary, about the way you move a body with dance and you just find ways to make it work. So I think that's exciting.
Yeah, my choreographers are very diverse. One of the rock pieces is jazz, one is modern. Well, actually 2 of them are modern. And then point work in rock and roll music.
Wow.
It's very strange.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
It can be done.
Yes, and I think it's fun to put the music we listen to into movement.
Yeah.
Because they listen to the music, we've listened to music, we get excitement and energy from it.
Yeah.
So why not put it in the movement that you learn in the classroom?
Yeah.
You're in the classroom and you listen to stuff, put it together, make it happen.
A tiny hint, there might be some audience participation too.
Oh my goodness.
See,
okay.
I'm going to sit in the back row for that.
So when is this happening so we can get ready?
Right. The shows are April 17th and 18th at the Irving Arts Center Dupree Theater, which is great for audience interaction. And the shows are at 7:30 p.m. and you get the tickets at the box office or irvingartscenter.com or 972-252-ARTS.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you guys both for being here. I'm excited about these surprises, and I know that dance fans in this town will certainly be glad too. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Back to you, Stacy.
Irving ISD concludes their annual student art show with the senior portfolios. Here's a look at the work of some of the very talented young artists and a list of creative things for you to do. About Town.
And here's some other exciting events happening about town. The Irving Heritage Society hosts their 11th annual Fish Fry, Friday, April 10th at 5 p.m. in Heritage Park. For ticket information, visit irvingheritage.org. And the Highland School presents Disney's Beauty and the Beast, April 10th at 7 p.m. and April 11th at 2 and 7 p.m. in the Dupree Theater. Call 972-252-ARTS for tickets.
Irving Symphony Orchestra presents a Gershwin Spectacular on Saturday, April 11th at 8 p.m. in Carpenter Performance Hall. Call 972-252-ARTS for ticket information. And the National Theater of Deaf presents A Show of Hands on Sunday, April 12th at 4 p.m. at the Islamic Center of Irving. Call 972-812-2230 for ticket information. And that's all for this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us.
Please be sure to tune in next time to meet the winners of the Texas and Neighbors Regional Art Competition, and we'll have highlights from Pet Palooza 2015.
We'll also conclude our student art series with a look at the Senior Portfolios Art Show.
We'll leave you tonight with a look at Pecos River Brass in performance on March 22nd. For About Town, I'm Kathy Whiteman.
And I'm Stacy Spencer. Have a great evening.
You're telling everyone I know I'm on your mind each place you go. I can't believe that you're in love with me. And I have always placed you far above me. And I just can't imagine that you love me. And after all is said and done, to think that I could be the lucky one, I can't believe